Florida. Capacity crowd better than 19,000 are still making their way into American Airlines Arena, where all is being labeled as white hot once again. It is a sea of white. The theme here is Miami is turning white hot for the playoffs, so we are surrounded by white decor as we get ready for Game 2 of the best of 7 between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. Bulls looking to even the series at 1. The Heat gunning for a commanding 2-0 lead. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert, along with Steve Kerr and Craig Sager, both teams on the floor, raring to go. So here are the McDonald's starting lineups for the Bulls. Ben Gordon, coming off a career playoff high 35 points in Game 1. Gordon and Kurt Heinrich at the guards. Michael Sweetney at center. Andres Nocioni, and one-time Miami Heat Malik Allen up front. Nocioni had 18 points, 16 rebounds Saturday night. For Miami, it's Dwayne Wade and Jason Williams in the backcourt. Wade is still sore from cramping late in Game 1. He says he's all right, though. Shaquille O'Neal had a strong opener. And James Posey and Antoine Walker at the forwards. As already mentioned, Udonis Haslem has been suspended for throwing his mouthpiece in the direction of referee Joey Crawford. So he will sit out as we take a look at tonight's officiating crew. And the lead official, Dan Crawford, working along with Mike Callahan and Courtney Kirkland. And we're ready to go. Game 2 of this best of 7. Shaquille O'Neal and Michael Sweetney.
Marv, this is one that Chicago has to have because no Haslem, no Alonzo Mourning. Wade is hurting, as you mentioned, and Shaq playing on just 1 day's rest. They know they have to get one win here in Miami. I think tonight's the night.
Antoine Walker gets it right inside to Shaquille O'Neal. In Game 1, Shaq got off to the good start. Very aggressive right from the opening tip.
Great position down low. Sweetney misses the jumper, and that's what Chicago has to try to do. Keep Shaq as far away from the basket as possible. Much easier said than done.
Jason Williams with the re-entry pass. Antoine Walker. Posey swings it. Good ball movement. Way to the corner. Williams for 3.
Well, right away, Marv, you can see the advantage of having Antoine Walker play the 4 position rather than Haslem. Now you can really spread the floor. 4 shooters on the perimeter, and that Bulls defense completely spread out.
Heinrich and Gordon on the wing, passed on a 3 and fires one up off balance. Back comes Miami. They won here on Saturday, 111-106 in a hard-fought, gritty game. Posey from downtown. He hit 3 three-pointers in Game 1.
Now the perfect start for Miami to get Shaq on an easy bucket early. Now 2 threes, and the Chicago defense reeling early.
And the other day, both clubs shot well. Bulls hit 13 of 26 from beyond that three-point line. Sweetney with the hustle, able to keep it alive. And they reset. Nocioni for 3. Yes.
Oh, Bulls hit 13 of them the other night, including 9 of 12 in that second half mark. So we know they're very capable of hitting from long range, and that's what keeps them in ball games.
Miami 8, Chicago 3. Here's Wade. He's trying to draw the foul. Heinrich is on it. Chicago on the run. Nocioni to the rim. And he's hurt. Andres Nocioni remaining on the front court. And Shaquille O'Neal taking that lead pass from Jason Williams. Good look by Williams.
Scott Skiles is going to call a timeout here, Mark. Looks like Nocioni rolled his ankle. Skiles furious, thinking that was a foul, yelling at Danny Crawford. But I think the officials made a good no call. Looked like he lost his footing on the way to the basket. Meanwhile, Miami on a run here.
And there is Andres Nocioni, as you say, Steve. It looked like he stumbled and lost his balance.
The 2006 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Lincoln, makers of the new 2006 Lincoln Zephyr. Lincoln, reach higher. By Jack in the Box. Experience Jack's tasty line of ciabatta sandwiches. Bread is back. By NikeBasketball.com. And by Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT. Go on.
As we make the transition from the brief visit to South Beach to today's Gatorade Around the Cooler report. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Dwayne Wade is hoping to avoid the cramps that sidelined him in Game 1. The last 2 days he's receiving treatment for sore muscles and also taking plenty of fluids. Cramps are caused by either an imbalance in the blood or electrolytes, the muscle's fiber, and then they go into spontaneous spasm. Now, before the game, he drank a 32-ounce bottle of a Gatorade Endurance, and then throughout the game, he's been told to drink this Gatorade mixed with the Gator Lights. That will replace the sodium, calcium, and potassium in his body. Normally, he drinks one of these a half. He's under doctor orders tonight to drink 4. Plenty of fluids for Wade, hopefully, to avoid the cramps he suffered in Game 1.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sager. That is a timely sponsored piece there. You saw Nocioni knock down the jumper. Apparently he is all right, but Ben Gordon has been lifted. Chris Duhon has just checked in following that Chicago timeout.
Well, Scott Skiles clearly concerned about the Bulls' defense. Duhon fronting Wade helps to force the turnover. I remember this Bulls team led the NBA in field goal percentage defense, and yet the Heat shot 48% in Game 1. They're off to the 4-for-5 start here. So Chicago wants to get back to doing what they do.
Heinrich played tightly by Williams. Shot clock is down to 6. Now Antoine Walker switching off defensively. Good job here by Miami. One on the 24. Allen got it off and scored.
Wow. Tough shot by Allen, who had a nice evening in Game 1. Hit 5 out of 8 shots. Scored 10 points. He's given the Bulls some good minutes here late in the season and first 2 games of the playoffs.
Blake Allen spent 3.5 years as a member of the Heat. Walker rimming out. Allen finished up with Charlotte last year. Here's Nocioni for Allen. Met by O'Neal. Finds Heinrich for 3. And the Bulls have come roaring back with a 7-0 run.
Well, this is what they do. You know, they force a miss at one end, and then they're going to push the ball. They want to play a fast game here tonight. You see the 10-2 run. And that's what they did in Game 1. Every time it looked like they were out of it, they came back.
Nice goal by Jason Williams. Jason Williams had a solid game in Game 1. Miami now leads 12-10. This is a Chicago team that went 41-41 during the regular season. Heinrich hits. Crowd looking for a traveling violation. Bulls rallied to make the playoffs. They won their final 6. They took 12 of their last 14 games. At one point on March 23rd, Chicago was 29-39 and then turned it up. Shaq drawing the triple team and also draws the foul.
Well, you mentioned they were 10 games under 500, and they caught fire, and in large part because Herc Heinrich really played well down the stretch. And you see here, 2 out of 3. There's the 3 from the corner, but 2 for 3 already. And I think he's one of the fine young point guards in the NBA. Offensive foul called on Wade, and that's the other area where Heinrich really excels, Mark, defensively. He's given Wade a lot of trouble this regular season. And you see here the hook, that left arm from Wade.
Dwayne Wade, a native of Chicago, grew up rooting for the Chicago Bulls. Nice job by Wade. And it led to a turnover. Foul called on Heinrich. Heinrich got caught and then ends up shoving Wade and picks up the foul.
Terrific defense because Wade keeps him on the baseline and waits until Heinrich jumps. Then he commits, and you see the push-off by Heinrich.
Game tied at 12. 5 minutes have gone by. There's a double on Walker. Antoine gets inside. Shot blocked by Allen. And here comes Heinrich pushing it down. Heinrich accelerates. And he lost it. He felt he was fouled.
Yeah, he thought he was nudged, and that's what led to the mishandling of the ball. The officials did not agree. But Chicago, meanwhile, withstood that initial fury from Miami and this crowd, and they're in pretty decent shape here.
Talking about Dwayne Wade, And his problems against his hometown team is that Shaq takes inside and he scores, and the foul. The basket counts, and he will head to the line. Foul on Chandler, his second.
Another quick start here tonight for Shaq. 3 of 3. Somehow gets this thing to go. You see the double team coming. That's something Scott Skiles said he's going to do a little more of tonight. Just random doubles. Duhan can't quite get position. O'Neal, 3 of 3. He was 11 of 16 the other night. Well, remember, he said, I'm going to be ready for the playoffs. I'm going to turn up the volume on my game. He's proving it here early on.
And 5 of 8 at the line in game 1. And it appears that one of the Bulls stepped in too quickly.
You can count on it. I mean, once a game at least, when Shaquille O'Neal is involved, there's a lane violation. And I still can't quite figure out. I played 15 years, been doing this for a few. I still can't figure out what the exact rule is on the lane violation, because guys are flying all over, and it's so tough to call and to really tell what's happening.
You're saying that sometimes it is not called, but it seems whenever Shaq is on the line, if a guy moves, it'll be called.
I think part of it is that they usually only call it if the free throw is missed, and Shaq does frequently miss, and hence the calls.
Here's Heinrich challenging O'Neal, and he draws the foul. Kirk Heinrich went right at Shaquille O'Neal, so Heinrich will head to the line. Getting back to the subject of Dwayne Wade going up against his former team during the course of the regular season, he averaged 12 points a game against Chicago. Yeah. Shot, 24%?
Yeah, by far the worst performance that he had against any team in the NBA. And people say maybe it is going home, a lot of pressure on him going back to Chicago. And he even talked about this series, saying that, he had to deal with so many ticket requests and tough to go back to your hometown. But I think a lot of credit has to go to the Bulls defense too. They play as hard as any team in the NBA, and Heinrich in particular gives Wade some trouble.
Wade also said he watched Michael Jordan's highlight video the other day off the steal. Here is Heinrich, and he has now scored the last 9 points for the Bulls, who lead by 1.
I don't know if I've ever seen anybody just take the ball from Dwayne Wade in the backcourt. I mean, that's so rare.
Here's Jason Williams for 3. And the action has been fast and furious here in this first quarter. Still 5.5 to play. Miami with an 18-16 lead. Allen had it knocked away. Bulls get back. Antoine Walker blows the stuff. Comes to Williams. Yes. Jason Williams continues to play at a very high level. He's 4 of 4 here tonight for 10 points, and Miami leads by 4.
Well, he was huge in game 1 with 17 points, giving Pat Riley that third score. Duhan knocks down the 3. Chicago continues to shoot the ball well from beyond the arc. But Williams is such a critical part of this Miami offense. He was brought here because he can create plays and be that third scorer. So far in this series, he has been just that.
Wade lost his footing. Posey for 3. Miami 4 of 6 from beyond that three-point line. Chicago has hit 3 of 3.
It's a shooting exhibition. I thought game 1 was the most entertaining game of the playoffs so far, and this is picking up right where that left off.
There's Walker on a 2-on-1. The feed off the mark, intended for Posey.
Boy, a little late on that pass. Looked like he had Posey earlier.
Here's Allen. That's a tough angle shot. Are you watching the Phoenix Suns out here?
Well, Chicago plays an awful lot like Phoenix. Kirk Heinrich, I think, is a Steve Nash type player. And Pat Riley doesn't like this tempo. He wants to slow things down. I think Chicago has this game at the pace that they want.
So the timeout with 4:02 to go in this first quarter. Miami up 23-21.
Welcome back to Miami. A furious pace here in the first quarter, and the Bulls within 2 thanks to Kirk Heinrich. After that slow start, Chicago's really picked up the pace. Heinrich, you saw with the long 3, then the pull-up. How about the steal here? Wade a little nonchalant with the ball. That leads to Heinrich's dunk. And Marv, I really think that you're looking at possibly the next Steve Nash. As you look forward in Kirk Heinrich's career, I think he's a future all-star, a guy who will be a Chicago Bull for a long time. John Paxson has said he's the first priority for the Bulls in terms of re-signing guys looking towards their future. A terrific player, a distributor, and we've seen the type of defense that he can play as well.
And he has certainly added to his game at the offensive end. John Paxson, the general manager of the Chicago Bulls, former teammate of yours. Here's Jason Williams again. Beautiful touch by Williams. Miami now leads 25-21. Jason Williams has hit 5 of 5. He has 12 points. Chicago started out 1 of 5 from the field. They've hit their last 7 shots until that miss by Heinrich.
And it was a good look, and you see exactly what the Bulls want to do: penetrate and attack this Miami defense.
Williams off the mark on a three-point attempt. There's Nocioni for Duhon. And he fires for 3. Chris Duhon with another three-pointer. So the Bulls are perfect from downtown. 4 of 4 to open things up in this first quarter, and they are now down by just 1.
This is incredible. Just a display of perimeter shooting. Wade with the lean-in.
And the Bulls quickly to the front court. And Heinrich looks to reset, and apparently there's a problem with the clock. Danny Crawford taking an official timeout as Ben Gordon looks to check back in. He started the game and it was pulled early by Scott Skiles.
Well, Skiles went to Duhon for defense, but he comes out and knocks down a 3, and then when James Posey backs off, he says, well, I've already hit 1. I can make another one. I'm feeling it. So 2 for 2 early on for Duhon. And you take a look at the series schedule, Marv. We talked early in the telecast about how important this game is for Chicago because of the difficulties for Miami without Alonzo, without Haslam, Shaq on 1 day's rest. Look at games 3 and 4, Thursday, Sunday. That means Shaquille will have 2 days rest before each of those games. And if you think that is not a factor, take a look at the last 2 postseasons, because with the age, with all the pounding that he's taken over the years, look at the difference in his performance from 1 day's rest to 2 days rest. Pretty dramatic. 5 points, 11% on the shooting. Even the free throws, maybe fatigue's a factor there. Better rebounding totals. And we asked Pat Riley about it before the game. He said, absolutely, it's a factor. That's why Chicago, I think, has to get this victory tonight.
And Pat also telling us that Alonzo Mourning says he is ready. Actually, he said he was ready to play the other day. Heinrich going right at O'Neal. Miami up by 3, just under 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Alonzo Mourning sitting out with that partial tear of the right calf muscle. He's been out since March 22nd and had been a major factor in this 52-win season for Miami. Luol Deng on the floor for the first time and admitted the other day he was nervous in his first ever NBA playoff game. Foul call on Jason Williams. Deng said he had the jitters. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, I talked to Alonzo Mourning at shoot-around today. He thought he may be playing tonight. It was a game-time decision, but after consulting with Dr. Harlan Selznick and Pat Riley, they decided not to take any chances whatsoever on anything that would affect the team long-term. Zoe said, mentally I'm ready, but physically my body isn't quite there yet.
All right, thank you, Craig. Michael Doliak and Gary Payton have come on for Shaquille O'Neal and Jason Williams. Offensive foul.
Now Danny Crawford got Malik Allen. They were trying to run a little set of screens for Ben Gordon, who just returned to the game, trying to get him going. And Allen leans in on the screen, picks up the offensive foul.
Shaquille O'Neal sitting down with 7 points. And Jason Williams leading the way for Miami. So he'll get a rest. 12 points for Williams. Here's Gordon around Walker. Nocioni with a nice ball fake and scores. Andres Nocioni, who has come a long way this season. In fact, he's had several productive games against Miami during the regular season and, of course, in game one of this series.
You could make a case for giving him most improved player. I think Boris Diaw probably deserves it. David West, a candidate, but Nocioni has gone from 8 points a game to 13. His shooting percentage way up. Wade banks in the leaner. But we talked to Pat Riley before the game, and he loves him. You know, he's exactly Riley's kind of player. Couldn't you just picture him in a Knicks uniform just knocking the hell out of everybody?
I did mention that to Pat. Gordon not able to hit. The tip missed by Allen, and Pat Riley said, yes, he would fit right into those Knicks teams that he coached in the 90s. Goliak. The tip missed by Wade. Rebound Wade. Duhan fell down. He thought he was pushed. And Wade able to take advantage. So Miami now leads 31-26.
Scott Skiles yelling out at Luol Deng saying, hey, you got to get on the boards. Those are the kind of easy baskets that Chicago cannot afford to give up.
Foul called on Peyton. Duhan will head to the line. Marv Albert with Steve Kerr. Craig Sager. We're final minute. First quarter. And the Heat up by 5 points. Now they say non-shooting foul. And Dan Crawford guiding Ben Gordon to the sideline. So Gordon being played by Peyton. Peyton did a nice job in the final minutes the other night against Gordon. Trying to trap Gordon. Nocioni gets it down low to Sweetney. Nocioni. And Luol Deng is called for the offensive foul. James Posey taking that hit.
That's a tough call there, Marv. I'm not a big fan of that call where the defender really slides into the offensive player and kind of flops. Watch Posey here. He really initiates the contact by sliding underneath Deng. I think that's a block there.
Half minute left in this first quarter. Walker setting a high pick. Nice play. Walker finding Goliak. The Bulls converging on Antoine Walker. He took advantage.
That's why Pat Riley picked him up in the offseason. He wanted a couple more playmakers for his offense. That's why Jason Williams and Walker were added to this roster.
Final seconds of the quarter. Once again, an offensive foul called on the Bulls. Foul on Gordon.
Now Michael Doliak coming in, giving Miami some good minutes. Absolutely. Excellent call by Danny Crawford. Gordon a little out of control. Doliak with position.
Final seconds of the quarter. Here's Peyton for three. So the Bulls with 7 turnovers in this first quarter, but they hit their threes. Miami with a hot shooting start. 54% from the field. And it's the Heat by 7 as you watch the NBA playoffs on TNT. Welcome back to Miami. Now look at the downtown area. We are at American Airlines Arena. Out of the 19,000 on hand, including Paul Pierce of the Boston Celtics, providing support for his former teammate Antoine Walker. Pierce averaging just under 27 a game in a non-playoff season for the Celtics. Number 6 man in scoring in the NBA.
Well, they met about a month ago in Boston, and Antoine Walker told his old teammates, don't worry, I'll get you tickets for the playoffs.
It's kind.
Yeah, looks like he got a pretty good seats, though.
Very sincere. And a defensive 3-second violation opens up this second quarter. So Ben Gordon will shoot the technical. Ben Gordon in game 1, 5 of 10 from three-point range, 35 points. He had 11 in the third quarter, then 7 first 4 minutes of the fourth, and then was cooled off as Gary Payton came on, did a good job defensively.
And talking to Pat Riley before the game, we said, what are your adjustments? He said, really only one, and we're gonna do a better job on Gordon. We'll put Payton on him more often. We'll chase him off of screens. But other than that, we just have to match the Bulls' intensity. And I think the same goes for Chicago. Not a lot of adjustments. It just comes down to playing.
Nice goal by Dang off the pass from Sweetney. The Heat now up 33. 29. Miami with Doliak, Walker, and Posey up front. Wade and Payton in the backcourt. Offensive foul. It has been a festival of offensive fouls here in the first half. For the most part, called on Chicago. Doliak picks this one up.
Well, both clubs have small lineups out on the floor. That's one of the reasons the tempo is so fast. It's another reason why we're seeing some offensive fouls, because a lot of screens, a lot of misdirection plays, screens being set. Nocioni gets the roll on the leaner. But this is beautiful basketball to watch. A lot of movement, but as a result, you get some illegal screens.
Statistician Brian Taylor, who always able to check out offensive fouls, says 5 thus far in this first half.
In about 13 minutes. That's an awful lot.
Doliak lost the handle. Sweetney tried to save it, and a foul. It's on Miami as Wade and Payton and Doliak converged, and it's called on Payton.
Well, it's an important couple of minutes here for Chicago. They go into the second quarter down 7, and just as in game 1, Marv, every time it appears that the game may be slipping away from them a little bit, they bounce back, but that's what the Bulls do. They're an awfully tough team. They play hard for 48 minutes.
This is Dang, and he has certainly settled down from that playoff debut on Saturday night.
He had a terrific close to the season. Remember, he had that fantastic game here in Miami last Sunday. And Dang is a guy that Scott Skiles wants to get into the game more often here in game 2.
Dang with the rebound, and Dang coming off the concussion, that strange occurrence in a shoot-around as he and Eric Piatkowski came together, banking head. Strong move by Sweetney, and the Bulls have taken a 35-33 lead. Shaquille O'Neal over at the scorer's table. He is about to check back in. Miami takes a timeout, so again the Bulls have come from behind with 2 minutes gone by in this second quarter. They now lead by 2 off a 9-0 run.
You get the feeling that this is going to be the way it goes this entire series. Bulls will continue to battle.
Here's Alonzo Mourning, who had an outstanding regular season. In fact, 3rd in block shots per game behind Marcus Camby and Andrei Kirilenko. Continues to sit it out, which brings us to the injury report presented by Save Wayne Wade. Looked all right. Say a question mark with leg cramps, which was sustained late in game 1. You know about Alonzo. Chris Duhon with that strained back might need surgery after the season.
Duhon looks fine too, though. He's knocked down a couple of threes. I think Wade physically looks like he's okay, but Mourning, that's a huge loss, especially against a team like Chicago that runs so many screen and rolls on the perimeter. He's their best defender on the perimeter for a big man.
Payton goes to the fadeaway. Both clubs hitting their shots. Bulls are now 64% from the field, 14 of 22 in Miami, 15 of 28. They're at 54%. 2.5 gone by in the second. Nocioni called for a travel. Nice fadeaway move, but it will not count.
Yeah, he couldn't get away with that extra step. Danny Crawford right on the call, but with Shaquille O'Neal back in the game now, Marv, you look for Miami to spread the floor again like they did the first few minutes and get that defense of the Bulls on the run a little bit, make them close out on some three-point shooters.
Game is tied at 35. Duhon cheating off to O'Neal. And here's Wade. Back comes Duhon, met by Walker. Duhon for 3. He hit 2 earlier. Payton on the rebound. Wade to the rim. Dwayne Wade going baseline with a very smooth-looking move. He's 4 of 8 from the field. He has 8 points.
And I know Duhon has hit a couple threes, Marv, but I don't think that's a shot Scott Skiles wants. He'd rather have Gordon coming off a pick and roll like here. Duhon's a spot-up three-point shooter, not so much in transition on the pull-up.
And Gordon, that's his first field goal. Game tied at 37. rebound is collared by Dang. There's a foot race, and Dang fouled by Posey. Dang looking for the clear path.
Question is it a clear path, or is it just 2 free throws for Dang? We'll see what the call is.
And they call it clear path.
Now, next year, I'm told this rule will change. That right now it's 1 free throw and the ball, and clearly the officials are correct. Posey gets him from behind. So for the time being, anyway, it's 1 free throw in the ball. Next year, it will become 2 in the ball, further trying to discourage players from committing that foul.
So the Bulls will take possession. They have recaptured the lead, up by 1. This is game 2 of the best of 7. Miami winning the opener on Saturday night. Dang, yes. The sensational shooting continues for Chicago.
And so much for the nerves from Dang. And Scott Skiles said, he's probably going to be nervous the first time out. I don't think he'll be nervous today. The way he's been playing, he felt very comfortable putting it in the ballgame.
Antoine Walker feeling comfortable hitting that 3. So we're tied at 40.
Unbelievable shooting. 64% for Chicago, 53% for Miami.
Jason Williams is back. Shandon Anderson has come on for the first time. Williams and Payton now in the backcourt with O'Neal, Walker, and Anderson up front. Williams on a catch and shoot from downtown.
This is ridiculous. I mean, can anybody miss?
Jason Williams, 6 of 7. He has 15 points. He's hit 3 of 4 from beyond the three-point line. Here's Gordon, uncontested. Miscommunication at the defensive end, obviously, by the Heat.
And that's also why Scott Skiles will try to involve Shaquille O'Neal in any perimeter screens, because then he's not at the rim to defend.
The Heat with a 1-point lead. O'Neal rebounded by Payton. Good hustle by Gary Payton, getting in between a couple of Bulls.
And you look at Walker playing the 4 spot for Miami. That means Chicago has to spread out their defense. That leaves open rebounding lanes.
Whoa, Sweetney with a pretty good pop on Payton, and Ocioni knocks down a 3.
I do feel like we're watching the Phoenix Suns here. All the three-point shooting and the tempo, very similar.
At both ends.
Yeah, that's right.
Miami and Chicago tied at 45. Shaq is fouled. He was hacked, and he'll shoot 2.
We asked Scott Skiles what he was concerned about coming into this game. He said, well, we don't want Williams to have another big game. He had 17 in game 1, became that 3rd scorer. Well, so much for that. Williams already with 15 early on.
The 2006 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by the LR3 by Land Rover and by KFC. Try the new 99-cent Buffalo Snacker and shatter your game time hunger.
Back in Miami, and the Heat have been led by Jason Williams, 6 of 7, 15 points. He's been doing it from the perimeter primarily tonight, but he is best known for his flashy moves down through the years. In fact, it was back in February of 1999. Williams, a rookie then with the Sacramento Kings, and he pulled off one of the most remarkable crossovers in recent memory as he shook Gary Payton then with Seattle. Now, this past Saturday, game 1 of the Bulls Heat playoff series, he's at the wrong end of a crossover from Ben Gordon of the Bulls.
And Payton is in the picture as well. So you don't think Jason Williams has influenced a young generation of players coming up? I mean, that's a move that really nobody had seen before till he made it. Now all of a sudden you've got guys all over the league making that same move. A little taste of his own medicine there from Gordon.
Jason has settled his game down from his earlier years with Sacramento and with Memphis.
Well, Shaq knocks down that free throw. That's just the 2nd attempt from the line for Miami. Scott Skiles and his staff have determined that they'd like to keep the Heat under 27 for the game. Remember, they had a parade to the free throw line in that game 1, 32 of 39. So Skiles and his club doing a nice job of keeping Miami off the stripe. And Shaq gets both of them to go.
And the Bulls, a team that does not get to the foul line. In fact, 13 of 17 the other night. Kirk Heinrich is back. Sets up on Jason Williams. Pulls it back. Finds Nocioni. Good recovery defensively by Walker. It's another offensive foul. Nocioni picks up his first.
Well, Walker did a nice job of not going for the ball fake, and then Nocioni leans in. That's why he picks up the foul.
5.5 to play in the first half. Miami with the ball. They lead 47-45. Walker with the step. Walker, little teardrop from Antoine Walker.
Pretty move. Going left, a little floater.
Gordon set up by Allen. Yes. And Gordon with that beautiful stroke to bring the Bulls within 2. Marv Albert with Steve Kerr and Craig Sager. We are in Miami. It is game 2 of this best of 7. Chicago trying to tie the series at 1. Nice fake by O'Neal. And he is fouled as Shaq hits the floor. So Shaquille will go back to the line. Beautiful head fake. Foul on Allen. That is his second. National coverage of the NBA playoffs will continue this week, and it is action-packed tomorrow on NBA TV. Game 2 of the Pacers and Nets. Coverage starting 8 o'clock Eastern. Friday on ESPN, it's Game 3 between the Cavaliers and the Wizards, followed by Game 3 of the Suns and Lakers starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Also on Friday on ESPN2, it's Game 3 of the Spurs and the Kings starting at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And then Sunday on ABC, the Heat and the Bulls in game number 4, followed by the Suns and the Lakers starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So here is Shaquille O'Neal. Nice stroke on that free throw. And Shaq is now 4 for 4 at the line.
Remember what Scott Skiles said? We asked him if he would employ the hack-a-shack. He says, well, every time I do it, he makes it. And I know most coaches say that. Another lane violation. Incredible.
Shaq got bailed out on a lane violation earlier because he was able to succeed on the do-over. Scott Skiles telling us that when he was head coach of Phoenix, he really got hurt when he went hack-a-shack on O'Neal.
And that violation was from Ben Gordon, who stepped over the three-point line, apparently. And that's a free point for the Heat. That's a rare call. You don't see that very often.
11 points for O'Neal. Miami 51 and Chicago 47. Shaq jumping out on a switch. Allen is open. Rebounded by Walker. Shaq very active here in the first half as he was in game 1. Here's the drop step. Yes. Another strong first half performance by Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Miami's got that Chicago defense spread out. They don't know where to come from. Now the steal.
Wade takes all the way. Yes. And the foul. It was Antoine Walker jumping out, creating that steal. The foul on Heinrich is second, and Wade will go to the line.
Well, Miami making a little push here. Gordon on the curl. A little bit of a miscommunication with Heinrich, and Wade able to finish as he draws the contact. The bench loves it. Crowd getting into this game, Marv. You sense that here we go again. Can the Heat pull away? We'll see if the Bulls can respond yet again.
10-2 run for Miami. Wade adds to that. The Heat with the biggest lead of the night. They're up now 56-47 as we come up on 4 minutes to play in the first half. Strong move by Gordon. Beautifully done. A hard drive and then able to show us the soft touch. Now the other night, Bulls came back from a 12-point halftime deficit and led by 4 with 8 minutes left in the game. Wade fired it up. Shaq is right there. Miami pulling away here late in the first half. Gordon going behind the back. This Piatkowski had just checked in. Well, Piatkowski with his first field goal attempt, able to knock it down.
Well, Scott Skiles just trying to buy a few minutes rest for Andres Nocioni. Piatkowski did the same thing in game one. Played 3 minutes, came in, knocked in a three.
William rejected by Sweetney. Crowd wanted to travel on Jordan. Here's Gang wide open. And the rebound one-handed by Anderson. Williams pushing it for Walker from downtown. Rebounded by Piatkowski. Bulls now 6 of 7 from three-point land. Wild pass thrown, but a foul. Foul on Miami. Foul on Antoine Walker.
Shaquille O'Neal had the terrific game one and had a fantastic first half here. The follow-up dunk, he's got 15 here in the half.
Last time, she made you talk. This time, she'll leave you speechless.
Sorry.
The new season, Kara Sedgwick returns as the closer, coming this June only on TNT.
Welcome back to Miami, the Heat with a 6-point lead. Miami recently raised $1.5 million during their recent Family Festival weekend activities. The event included a concert by Michael McDonald at the residence of Pat and Chris Riley, with all proceeds benefiting Jackson Memorial Foundation's Guardian Angels, Safe Space, and the Miami Coalition for a Safe and Drug-Free Community. The gala featured the Heat players and their wives, celebrities, and a live fundraiser auction. NBA Cares, continuing a tradition of basketball and service to the community.
All right, thank you, Craig. It's been a difficult time for Pat Riley. Missed the last 2 games of the regular season to be with his ailing mother in upstate New York. His mom, Mary, died this past Friday at the age of 96. Our best to Pat and his family. Miami up by 6 points with 2:35 remaining in this first half, and the Heat back to the offense. Miami now shooting at 55%. Here's Jason Williams with a rare miss. And Anderson decided to let it go, and the officials checking with each other. It was a smart move by Shannon Anderson, who was last touched by Chicago. Let's check in with Ernie back in our Atlanta studios.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. It is a Southwest Airlines game break. Coming up, the T-Mobile halftime report. And the only thing more entertaining than Steve Wonders is Kenny's pictures. You'll see that at halftime as they break down the first half to Kenny and Charles. And we'll look ahead to game 2. Marv?
All right, thank you, Ernie. As Dang on the drive is foul. It's nice to see that the studio does recognize Steve Wonders, which we should point out will be coming up in the second half. And we should also point out, for some strange reason, is still unsponsored.
I knew you'd point that out.
Well,
Ernie kind of a little subtle shot at me, though, saying
wasn't
that
subtle. I thought
wasn't that subtle.
It was pretty direct.
Kenny's pictures he enjoys more than Steve Wonders. Whatever.
He has to deal with Kenny.
That's an excellent point.
Face to face. I mentioned the Miami shooting. How about Chicago at 62% on 21 of 34? What has hurt the Bulls in the first half, 10 turnovers, as opposed to Miami with 6.
That's one of the reasons Miami has 9 more field goal attempts than the Bulls.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half. They double up on Wade. Shot clock down to 3. Walker gets inside.
Boy, the Bulls defense scrambled, they helped, they did everything possible, but Walker just too quick, and again, Chicago's so spread out that it's tough to cut off those driving lanes.
Gordon pops it out. Duhan for 3. For the ball back to the Heat. Scott Skiles in his 3rd season as head coach of the Bulls, taking over from Bill Cartwright. Went 19-47 when he first took over, but last year turned things around. Bulls win 47 games. They finished 4th in the Eastern Conference. rallied to make the playoffs this season. Shot clock to 3. Shandon Anderson. That extends the Miami lead to 9.
This is an important final minute here for Chicago. They'd love to get a score here, a stop, and then maybe another basket. Make this margin much more manageable. And yet, there's the turnover from Gordon.
Gordon looking for Dang, but the pass thrown away. And now Ben Gordon will take a seat. Miami gets it back. And Errol Pargo makes his first appearance, coming on for Gordon. Jason Williams moving it across. The lead for Dwayne Wade. It counts. No, will not count. 3-second violation.
Chris Duhon was fronting Dwayne Wade from the beginning of that possession, Marv. And Wade never got out of the lane area. Good call by Mike Callahan.
Pat Riley looking for the bucket and the foul, but instead the ball back to the Bulls. Piatkowski. And he's able to go glass. He's an instant offense player. Eric Piatkowski hit a 3 a moment ago, and banks one home in his 12th year out of Nebraska. He's 35 years old, one of the better three-point shooters over the years in the NBA.
And Scott Skiles getting good minutes and some rest for Nocioni and Heinrich and Gordon, something he really didn't do in Game 1.
Here's Goliak. Michael Goliak, who has that nice perimeter touch, gives Miami a 9-point lead, and Chicago will hold for a final possession of this first half. Pargo running it down. And Danny Crawford blows the whistle, as did Courtney Kirkland. Dan saying, Courtney, you take it. And the foul is called on Goliak. Miami is over the limit, and Michael Sweetney will go to the line. What a strange season it's been for Michael Sweetney. Opened up as the starting center, and then was benched, was inactive for a number of games, and he's back as the starter.
Well, that's one of the things about this Chicago roster. Every guy knows that Scott Skiles will play them, because his philosophy is he tells all of his starters, if you don't get the job done, I'm playing your substitute. And that's one of the reasons this bench is so effective, because they know it's true. So everybody on that bench is alert and ready to go in, because they know it could happen at any time. And that's one of the reasons why the Bulls have put together a very young roster. They want guys who are going to respond, and they certainly have done so for Scott Skiles.
5 seconds left in the first half. Here comes Jason Williams. Williams taking all the way. And Scott Skiles has to be. Oh, the steal by Wade. I was saying, that had to drive him crazy. That had to drive him crazier.
That's huge. Well, 4 straight points on really terrible defense and then an awful turnover. And Miami goes into the half on a run. Sweetney was afraid of getting that 5-second violation. And Wade steps in front like a free safety, makes the interception.
They will review that last second shot by Wade. It appeared that he got it off on time. So Dwayne Wade in this first half, 11 points. Shaquille O'Neal with 15. Jason Williams with 17. Let's go to Craig with Dwayne Wade.
Well, first of all, I see you replenishing your fluids like the doctor said. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I mean, my legs get tired faster, but, I'm out here. I'm giving my team a lift, so it's good.
I don't know if you heard, but they just said that basket did not count on your spectacular steal and dunk. You had a good view. Do you think you got off before the light?
I don't know, man. It's too late to argue now, so we're just going to come out second half. Ain't worry about the second half. That play over with, so forget it.
All right, thanks a lot. Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat with a 66-57 lead. Let's go to EJ in our studios in Atlanta.
That count. No, they waved it off. You can't tell from that shot. Anyway,
why can't you?
The T-Mobile halftime report.
Well, you think they looked at something different?
T-Mobile halftime report. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. It is a 66-57 game. Could have been 68-57 had that counted, and that would have really hurt going into the locker room, giving up 4 quick points.
Yeah, I got a couple bets around here tonight with Chico and Kenny. I think the Bulls are going to get blown out tonight.
Look at this by Jason Williams. What a series he's had so far.
But that's because they're doubling Shaq. Shaq's a perfect example. If they're going to double Shaq like that, and he's going to make shots, they're going to be unbeatable.
But if he had laid that in over the top and let go of it, that probably counts. But he dunked it, and they said it was.
But in 1.2, it seems like you can get to the free throw line.
So that basket should have counted.
That's what I thought.
I would like to see that again.
Closely, it did.
They looked at it a couple of times.
But that don't mean they got it right.
Well, I think they did down there.
Okay.
I think they got it right.
But, I just don't think the Bulls, they shot unbelievably well in game 1. They're shooting unbelievably well in game 2. But I don't think they can sustain that three-point shooting level. See, they did count it. They did.
Now they're counting it?
They counted it.
Good. Now it's 68-57.
It should have counted, like me and Kenny said.
They know what they're doing down in Miami. They don't know. You guys don't know anything. Come on, dude. We do this for a living. We don't do this for fun.
I know, but see what they said at the site.
Ernie,
no basket, and now they say it is a basket.
Just agree with us, too, from now. This should have counted. I don't know what took
in 1.2 seconds, you can get to the basket.
There you go. So it counts.
Yeah, without
you mean what we said?
68-57.
And I told you, I just don't think the Bulls can keep shooting the incredible percentage they're shooting. And Miami's going to win this game by 15 to 20 points.
Well, you said that the other day. There's no way they can shoot 50% from 3-point.
No, I said they
6 out of 8.
I said they couldn't keep doing it.
I know, and they are. They're 6 out of 8 in the first half.
And I'm saying they can't sustain. I'll tell you what. You want some of that bet? You did want some, and you chicken out. You did chicken out, didn't you?
No, of course not.
So you think the Bulls going to come back and win?
Will you stop and let's go to Kenny's pictures?
Well, if they want to be effective, the Bulls, and they want to stay in this game, and then I can win my dinner bet, and I don't have to pay. This is what they really need to do. I think one of the things that they have to do is just continually get into their half-court offense, slow the game down. I don't think that they can possibly continually run and get a lot of shots up. But when they set their offense up, they have a tough time one-guarding Ben Gordon, because off the pick and roll, he's one of the best in the business at it. He goes right, he goes left, and his jump shot is deadly. And then also, when they run their sets, they have guys who can penetrate and pitch and come off screens and knock down open jump shots. And lastly, again, Ben Gordon doesn't always have to take the 3, so he fakes you for the 3 and then he slides to the basket for an easy layup, because he has that ability to freeze the defense because they're scared of the three-pointer, so he can hesitation, and we call it the hands up, make the defender put the hands up and he goes by.
And one other adjustment they can make, they could have quit doubling Shaq so much, because Shaq is, if they're coming immediately and quickly on Shaq, and if Jason's going to keep making that 3.
Yeah, but if he's going to keep making that 3, I mean, you didn't count on Jason Williams to have this kind of a series, did you?
Well, I didn't, but listen, there's something called Plan B. So they got to go say, okay, we can't keep doubling Shaq that quickly. That's how the Pistons play Shaq. Because you get those other guys starting. Shaq's going to get X amount of points because he's Shaq. But you got to stop those other guys. And if Jason Williams making those shots, you can't keep saying, oh, he's not making them. Well, he's got 15 points. When he gets to 20.
17 now.
Yeah, when he gets to 20, you got to say, you know what, we got to make Shaq. And then, worst case scenario, just foul Shaq.
17 for Jay Will, 15 for Shaquille O'Neal, 13 for Dwayne Wade.
You can't, both of them can't have 15. You got to stop one or the other.
Meantime, game 2 of our doubleheader.
I can't wait for this game.
We're going to talk about this when we come back. The Nuggets and the Clippers.
That's a big game there.
Big game.
Hey, that shot counted, by the way.
And what that trophy feel like?
Oh, man. You deserve one.
Welcome to the T-Mobile Halftime Report. T-Mobile, official wireless services partner of the NBA.
Let me switch up the game. On the floor, I fall back, step back, cause I might put it on, yeah. I go deep, so deep, then I speak so sweet. Cross the floor like a broom with my feet. You don't want me head to shoulder. Hop on the beam, flip it over. We want this, we want this, we want this, It don't matter where you're from, it's where you're at. And if you can't freak a league, don't tip your hat.
Missy Elliott making the cut as we welcome you back to downtown Miami. We're at halftime of the Heat over the Bulls. 68-57, Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, and Craig Sager. And 68 points, most points and a half allowed by Chicago this season. And here are the Bulls, down by 11, yet they're shooting 61% from the field.
And they made one more free throw than Miami. So you say, where did Chicago go wrong? Well, 12 turnovers. Miami pounded them on the offensive glass. They got 6 offensive boards. And that led to 12 more field goal attempts for the Heat. And with Miami shooting 58%, there's no way you can give them that many more shots at the basket. Look at the three-point shooting. Charles Barkley talked about the double teams of Chicago in the first half. I agree that the Bulls can't come down so deep on Shaq, and we'll see what adjustments Chicago makes.
Look at tonight's deep game summary. Let's throw it over to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, stats aside, Scott Skiles said we were dominated that half. We can't stop them. Our defense is not good enough. We did not get out on their shooters. I told them to play with poise and confidence. Offensively, we're confident. We're not playing with poise. Those 12 turnovers. He also thought they came out slow. Remember, they fell behind 10-3. He put Ben Gordon on the bench quickly. He thought Ben came out a step slow. He said they may have to mix and match in the second half.
All right, thanks, Craig. Miami's first possession of this third quarter, and Jason Williams delivers to Shaquille O'Neal.
Ultimately, I think what we're seeing is how much more difficult it is to play outside in than it is inside out. Miami, so many easy hoops with O'Neal.
All right, here's Wade. That'll count. It's a goaltend. Once again, the Heat flying down court.
And we've got O'Neal on low post moves. And then you get Dwayne Wade running out for easy hoops. Just too many ways to score for Miami, and for Chicago, everything is a long-range shot.
Miami has opened up a 15-point lead. Alcione off balance. He thought he was fouled.
Danny Crawford didn't give him the call. Looked like he did get hit on the arm, but he gets it to go anyway.
Miami Heat without Udonis Haslem, serving that one-game suspension. And they come up with 68 points in the first half. The Miami all-time playoff record for a half, 74. So they were closing in on that number. Here is Heinrich.
When these two teams met back in '97 in the conference finals, this was like an entire game. 72 points for Miami. I mean, that was an entirely different team, obviously, but this is different basketball now.
Heinrich went down. Wade got it to Williams. Jason Williams for 3. And a loose ball foul. A push called on O'Neal.
See, I think Miami can't fall in love with that three-point shot. They were 6 of 13 in the first half. We saw Antoine Walker fire up a quick one. Now Williams, I know they're open, but if you're Pat Riley, you saw in game one, these 12, 13-point leads can vanish in a hurry against Chicago. I think you still have to pound it into Shaq, put some pressure on that Chicago defense.
Heinrich tried to get it down low, and a foul. Foul on Wade. That is his second. You mentioned the series in the Eastern Conference Finals back in '97. This is the 4th time the Bulls and the Heat have met in the postseason. Chicago won the previous 3. It was back in the Steve Kerr / Michael Jordan era.
In that order.
And it's called in the act. So Heinrich will go to the line.
Wow, looked like he was trying to pass the ball. Pat Riley wondering what kind of call that is, and he's having some words with Courtney Kirkland.
Miami up now by 12. Let's take another look here.
With a screen and roll, and he was going to pass the ball, but he made a veteran move there. Look at the hoop and pretend like you're going to shoot, and it works. He gets the 2 free throws.
Jason Williams, Dwayne Wade in the backcourt. Shaquille O'Neal is up front, along with Antoine Walker and James Posey. So Miami turns it over. Bulls have a backcourt of Kirk Heinrich, Ben Gordon up for Michael Sweetney, Andres Nocioni, and Malik Allen. Very difficult angle pass attempted by Gordon, and then it's deflected out, last touched by the Heat.
So I think this is where Miami has to be careful. We talked about the couple of threes they fired up. Now the turnover. This is where you take a team's will and you establish the tempo and pound it into Shaq and bury them. Instead, Miami allowing Chicago to hang around.
O'Neal with the block. Kept alive by Nocioni. Yes. And the foul. Andres Nocioni will head to the line.
Now, Nocioni thought he was fouled on his previous jump shot. You'll see the block by Shaq that leads to the offensive board. Shooters love offensive rebounds more because the defense totally scattered, and Nocioni gets the call this time.
Foul on Posey, his second. So Chicago with an 8 after trailing a moment ago by 15. Wade played by Heinrich. Wade got the step. Will it count? No. Does not get the call on the continuation. Foul on Malik Allen. Minutes gone by in this third quarter. Here's Wade spinning and puts it up for O'Neal.
Oh, that is ridiculous. How about the touch on the pass? Both Bulls big men come out and try to block the shot that they expected. Instead, it becomes a lob.
Heinrich is fouled. Miami felt it was a clean block, and Heinrich will head back to the line.
Well, first the split, then the spin, and then the pass is probably more spectacular than anything. What an athletic play from Wade. And he knows with a teammate like Shaq, just throw it up near the rim.
Foul committed by Antoine Walker. And Miami very quickly with 4 team fouls.
And Chicago continues to get to the foul line, and they should be able to continue to do so throughout the third now that they will be in the penalty. 11 of 13 on the night for the Bulls, just 6 of 6 for Miami after shooting 39 free throws in game 1.
And this is the first of our TNT doubleheader. Coming up, game 2 between the Nuggets and the Clippers from Staples in L.A. Clippers winning game 1. Here's Walker, called for steps. Traveling violation on Antoine Walker.
Bulls pulling back a little bit now on that low post when Shaquille O'Neal has the ball. First half, they doubled a little bit too aggressively. That led to some wide open threes. Looks like now they're just digging down there, trying to fake some doubles and get back to their men.
Blake Allen working hard and then stripped. Antoine Walker took it away, and he's fouled by Allen. That's 4 on Allen.
Scott Skiles is going to go with Luol Deng here, more of an extremely small lineup with Allen leaving. They've got Sweetney and then basically Heinrich, Gordon, 2 6-footers, 6'1", and a couple of wing players with Deng and Nocioni. So Bulls will really have to defend inside and try to push the ball and get some shots in transition.
Sweetney, the big man, at 6'8", Nocioni about 6'7". And Sweetney defending on O'Neal. Jack tried the driving hook, rebounded by Nocioni. Here's Heinrich. Gang being played by Williams. Good hands by Jason Williams. Crowd wanted an offensive foul. This is game 2 of the best of 7. Miami winning the opener on Saturday night, games 3 and 4 in Chicago. Oh, look away, thrown by O'Neal. On target to Walker. What a pass. And that leads to a Chicago timeout.
Now, this is one of the problems you deal with when you have to defend Shaquille O'Neal. Possession after possession. The double comes from Nocioni, but you have to have communication on the weak side. Beautiful feed from O'Neal.
The 2006 NBA Playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And by Trail-Rated Capability. Only in a Jeep 4x4.
Back in Miami, another stellar performance by Shaquille O'Neal. 7 of 10 from the field, 19 points. And Bulls head coach Scott Skiles, very familiar with Shaquille O'Neal. Scott played 4 years as a member of the Orlando Magic back in the early 90s, including the first 2 seasons of Shaq's career. Skiles, the Magic point guard during Shaq's first 2 seasons in the NBA. During their time together, Skiles averaged just under 8 assists per game, and Shaq at 26 points a ball game. Scott Skiles, Steve, still holds the NBA record for most assists in a game. Came up with 30. That was back in December of 90 before Shaq arrived in Orlando.
One of the more remarkable NBA players that I ever played against or with. I was actually on one of those Magic teams. Most people won't remember. In fact, I barely remember being there. Marv Gordon misses the
It's a blur.
Jumper. It is a blur to me. But Skiles had no speed, couldn't jump, yet somehow found a way to be one of the most productive point guards in the game.
That's an offensive foul. And the call on Antoine Walker, that's his third. Scott Skiles, a star at Michigan State, and then played 10 years in the NBA with Orlando, Indiana, Washington, Philly, Milwaukee. A very tough player, as you would expect.
Well, when you hear the expression that a team is a reflection of its coach, that I think is epitomized here in Chicago. The Bulls play exactly like their coach did in his day. They scrap and claw and bring it every night.
Wade with the hesitation move. It's a Posey for 3. O'Neal with the rebound. And here's Shaq with a drop step. Draws the foul. And Shaq has been hitting his free throws. 5 for 5 at the line. Lane violations have led to 2 do-overs, and Shaq has taken advantage. Foul on Nocioni. That is his second.
Well, you take a look at the points in the paint, 40-14 for Miami. We talked earlier about how much easier the game is when you can play inside out. There's the game 1 advantage, 22-point differential for the Heat, and tonight 26. And the game's just easier when you can play inside. I mean, the easier the shots come when you're closer to the basket. Obviously, the Bulls just relying on so many long-range shots, as they have to. And despite the fact that they're shooting so well, still find themselves down 11.
Chris Duhon checking back in. Shaquille O'Neal throughout the regular season had problems with that hyperextended left knee, sore ankle, and all. He missed 23 games with injuries. Had career lows. He averaged 20 points, 9 rebounds, but his minutes were down. And Pat Riley told Shaquille, you have to lose weight. And he dropped about 25 pounds as Nocioni is able to drill it. Shaq says right now he's about 320.
Which is his ideal playing weight. And Shaq, for the last several years of his career, because of the pounding he's taken, has made no bones about the fact that he paces himself. Posey knocks down another 3 for Miami. That's number 7 on the night. But Shaq has said, look, I'm going to be ready come playoff time. I'm going to kind of ease my way into the season and really peak when it counts. And he looks like he's doing just that.
Good hustle by Posey. Luol Deng felt that he was fouled, but it's a loose ball foul on Deng.
Another turnover for Chicago, and these are the kind they just can't afford. Half-court execution, and there's the push from Deng. Nice anticipation from James Posey. That's number 14 on the night. 14th turnover for Miami.
James Posey hit 3 from downtown in game 1. He's hit 3 here tonight. Miami up by 13 points. Here's Posey, kicks it out. Walker for 3. Miami has its biggest lead of the game, a 16-point advantage. The Heat with an 11-2 run. Deng going glass, able to get inside, so the Heat now leads 83-69.
Chicago's going to have to make some stops, Marv. They just can't outscore Miami. That's what they tried to do in game one. Eventually, they have to do what they do, which is play good defense. Remember, we talked about it. They led the NBA in field goal percentage this year, but Miami at 58%.
Bulls going with a three-guard alignment. They have Duhon with Gordon and Dang, along with Nocioni and now Chandler. Tyson Chandler coming on for Michael Sweetney. And here comes Jason Williams. O'Neal played by Chandler. Good play by Chandler. Leads to the travel.
Shaq can't believe it, neither can the crowd, but I like Miami's strategy here, Marv. You're up 14. You got the Bulls on the ropes. Go into the big guy. Even when you don't get a bucket, the game stops, the tempo slows down, and Shaq thought he was fouled on the contact there, lets the ball drop. That's why he called for the travel, but perfect example of why he's so difficult to officiate. I don't know what to call on that play.
Gordon not able to hit. The back tap attempted by Chandler, and it carried out of bounds.
It could have been a foul on Chandler. It could have been offensive on Shaq. I think maybe the officials did the right thing by letting it go, but I mean, you just don't know what to call.
Timeout called now. 4:15 left in the third.
Original series coming this June only on TNT.
Well, we touched on it earlier. The last time the Heat and Bulls played each other in a playoff series back in 1997. And that year, like this year, Pat Riley and Coach Alonzo Mourning was a center. And Steve, you were involved somewhat, getting a shot from Alonzo.
It was a physical series, yes. Marv. He and I went at it.
Yes. The series was Miami's first trip to the East Finals. Michael Jordan averaging 30 a game. Mourning averaged 15 per game, and the Bulls won that series 4-1 and would go on to win its 5th NBA title.
And Alonzo probably still has the bruises that I gave him from some of the shots, the many rebounds I made.
Once again, a beautiful feed. Wade to O'Neal. And this combination has been unstoppable. Miami has a 16-point lead. Bulls will maintain possession.
Well, we saw Scott Skiles in his playing days throw some of these alley-oops to Shaq, and Dwayne Wade knows exactly where to go with it. When the penetration happens and the big men help, like Chandler does just for a moment, that's all it takes to find your big fella for the lob.
And again, we are seeing a vintage Shaquille O'Neal performance, and he has continued in the second half. The other night, it was for the most part a very strong first half. In fact, he hit 9 of his first 10 shots. 24-second violation, and it gets worse and worse for the Bulls, who shot 61% in the first half. They've come out and hit on only 4 of 14, and they have struggled.
Charles said it at halftime. You can't expect to continue to make three-pointers and long jumpers for an entire game, let alone an entire series. Miami taking over here.
Oh, what a move by Walker, and he is fouled. So Walker will shoot 2.
How about the crossover from Antoine Walker? This is what makes him so difficult to cover. A 4-man, 6'10", with these types of ball handling skills. Nocioni can only foul him hard at the basket to avoid the hoop.
Third on Nocioni. Antoine Walker has played the entire game. Antoine with 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. What is most impressive about Miami in this third quarter, 7 field goals. And on the 7 field goals, 7 assists.
Yeah, they moved the ball. They've taken care of it. Just 11 turnovers on the night. And they've played inside out through Shaq. And I think this Chicago defense starting to wear down.
Gary Payton has come on for Dwayne Wade. Wade sits down with 15 points, 5 assists. Biggest lead of the night for Miami by 17 with 3:15 remaining in the third. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, and Craig Sager. Heat in command in this third quarter. Tyson Chandler was looking for someone to pass to and then squared up to take the shot and was fouled.
Gary Payton may have been called for the foul. Looked like he clipped him as he ran by, covering Duhon on a cut. We'll take a look, see if he gets hit here. Chandler really wanted to give up the ball, and this is not a shot he wanted. Yep, good call by Danny Crawford to see that left hand of Payton, because as a shooter, that's enough to knock you off balance.
Tyson Chandler kind of struggles at the free throw line. Well, you can log on to NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA and check out TNT Overtime. You can download replays of Inside the NBA, playoff analysis, and, of course, the cure for springtime allergies, Steve Wonders.
Oh, the jokes keep coming.
Well, Chandler misses on both. Jason Williams for Antoine Walker. Ian O'Neal getting position. Posey to the rim. Yes, and the foul.
Beautiful move by James Posey, Marvin. I love when players do this. Use the three-point line as a threat. You don't always have to fire it, even when you're wide open. Just the ball fake right there is enough to get Piatkowski off his feet and then attack the rim because you know you have an advantage.
James Posey, originally a first-round pick of the Denver Nuggets, spent 3.5 years with the Nuggets, with Memphis the past 2 seasons, 7th year out of Xavier of Ohio, and has come up big first 2 games of this series. It's a 20-point Miami lead. Here's Dang, the tip by Chandler. Miami went 52-30 in the regular season. They finished as the number 2 seed in the East behind Detroit. Major question for the Heat throughout the regular season, despite the successes. Williams fires for 3, and Chandler was pushed by O'Neal. The major question, can they beat the upper echelon teams? They went 2-12 against division leaders and some of the better teams like Detroit, the Nets, San Antonio, Denver, Phoenix.
Throw Dallas into the mix, and they're 2-14. The Mavericks pounded them twice. In fact, Miami had a 19-20 record against teams that were 500 or better. So they haven't proven anything, and they're not going to prove anything with a series victory over Chicago. This is a 500 club. They have to do it against New Jersey possibly in the next round, maybe Indiana, who's given them trouble over the years, and obviously the team that's waiting for them down the road, you would think, is the Detroit Pistons, and that's the team that they've been aiming for all season.
And last season under Stan Van Gundy, they won 59 and lost 23. They had the best record in the Eastern Conference, and then in the playoffs, they swept the Nets and the Wizards, lost to the Pistons in 7 in the Eastern Conference final series.
Foul on Ben Gordon there for reaching in, Marvin. A lot of people think that had Dwayne Wade not had that freak injury in Game 5 when he hurt his rib section, I think he pulled a muscle in his abdominal area. A lot of people thought maybe the Heat would have just kept this team together, because chances are, they might have gone on and won that series and advanced to the finals, and maybe they would have kept that club together. Instead, Pat Riley deciding to make dramatic changes, bringing in Walker, Posey, Jason Williams, and Stan decides to resign. Pat takes over, and yet the question marks remain. They have not proven anything, and this is what it's all about for them. The postseason, this is where they have to turn it on.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal has made it clear. A nice pass, Heinrich for Dang, and he's fouled by Posey. Shaq says there is a sense of urgency to win the whole thing. Said getting to the finals does nothing for me. Of course, they have to get to the finals. That's another major step.
Well, he's on the downside of his career. He's got 4 years left on his contract, but you can see each year he gets a little bit slower, a little heavier, and the old window of opportunity, we love that cliche. It is narrowing for Miami. And you take a look at the playoff picture. How about Indiana pulling off the upset yesterday, and LeBron James with a phenomenal playoff debut.
Just under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Miami has a 17-point lead. Michael Goliak has come on for Shaquille O'Neal. Walker posting on Posey. Walker rejected. Gordon tried to go wide and was cut off. Blocking foul. Charged to Posey.
Boy, Luol Deng is a nice-looking young player, isn't he, Marv? He holds his ground against Antoine Walker. Got those long arms and makes that block. He's a big part of John Paxson's plans for the future in Chicago. A guy I think has the potential to be a big star in this league.
It's been a tough season physically for Luol Deng. We talked earlier about the concussion and that collision with Eric Piatkowski a couple of weeks back. Back in December, he underwent oral surgery to repair a front tooth, and that was broken in a collision with Dirk Nowitzki of the Mavericks. So he's come back from a couple of tough blows.
Remember, he missed the postseason last year, had an excellent rookie year with the Bulls, and then injured his elbow and had to miss the playoff series against the Wizards. So that was one of the reasons he had some nerves the other night. It was his first playoff game ever.
Goliak tried to get it to Payton, and Piatkowski is called on the foul. Both teams are over the limit. This is the first of our TNT doubleheader coming up. It'll be the Nuggets and the Clippers from Staples in LA. That's coming up next. Right here, followed by Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Clippers taking game one on Saturday night. Kevin Harlan, Doug Collins will have the call.
It'd be nice to see Kevin and Doug actually working.
Yes, is this their opening?
This is their debut. I think they're a little nervous.
I believe the executives of the TNT wanted both Kevin and Doug to rest.
They wanted them
get
fresh.
ready.
Yeah.
Deng with the rebound. And then handled by Walker. Wing Wade back on the floor. We're down to a minute remaining in this third quarter. Wade going behind the back to set it up. At 17 for Wade. 95-76 Miami. Here's Gordon with a rainbow three. Goliak rebound.
Miami just wearing out Chicago. Those jumpers that were going the first game and first half of tonight's game is not falling anymore.
Here's Wade over Chandler. And the Bulls will hold for a final possession. Down to 10 seconds. And the foul is called on Payton. So that's a shooting foul. Payton gambling, went for the steal. And it will send Gordon to the line.
Well, if you're Chicago, you want to finish strongly in this game. I mean, it's a little demoralizing. They were pretty high after that first game. Even though they lost, they felt good about themselves. They made some comments in the newspapers about, hey, we made a statement. They know it's going to be a series. Now they just took a shot in the mouth here in the first three quarters. So important to finish strong, build a little bit of momentum for game three. You hate to say it's over, but it certainly has the feeling of a game that is well in the bag for Miami.
Well, Ben Gordon misses on both final seconds of the third quarter. Williams sets it up. Here's Payton. So Miami outscores Chicago 27-19 in the third, and they lead by 19.
Another terrific performance by Shaquille O'Neal tonight, Marvin. 8 of 12 from the floor. He's got 22 points. Been feasting inside. You see the alley-oop from Wade. How about the beautiful behind-the-back pass to Antoine Walker, and then another alley-oop from Wade, and it's Miami in control.
Welcome back to Miami. The Heat opening up the fourth quarter with a 19-point lead. With me, Paul Pierce. Earlier, Marv Albert mentioned that during the playoff run, when your chances were fading, Miami's rising. Antoine Walker, your good buddy, offered you tickets. Are these the tickets, and how are you enjoying the game?
I'm enjoying the game, man. Yeah, he offered me tickets. I told him I'd come down to support him, and I'm just showing my love for him.
You played with him for several years in Boston. He came here. He struggled a little bit in Miami. Struggled also in Atlanta and Dallas. Any advice you gave him?
Yeah, you know, Antoine, I told him that he's going to be the difference. If I feel like they can win the championship, it's all on how he play. If he can come out here and be solid for them and play a good game, I think they got a chance at winning it.
What about the rest of the East? You say they have a chance, but obviously Detroit's the defending champion in the East. New Jersey won your division. Size up the conference.
Well, obviously, I think Miami and Detroit are two favorites in the whole Eastern Conference. It all depends. I think Miami has a talent level. They have the depth. They have the coach in Pat Riley. Obviously, Detroit has been there before, but I think it'll be a great matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals between Miami and Detroit.
What are your plans for the summer, and how do you hope your team improves so you can be here next year?
Well, you know, I'm just going to plan on getting better and build on what I did this year. We have a great young crew. I think we're going to be here. I definitely know we're going to be here next year. And I told Antoine that if Miami don't win it this year, they're going to have a problem next year because we'll be in the playoffs.
Antoine Walker's played every second. He may be too tired to go out with you tonight if he keeps this up.
You know what? He's in the best shape of his life. I'm looking at him. He's lost a lot of weight. I think he's prepared for this.
All right. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Mark.
All right. Thanks, guys. Antoine Walker has had a strong game. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Miami now leads 95-80. Here is Wade. Rebounded by Goliath. And they will reset.
How about Sags wearing his Celtic green shirt?
Yes.
Ironic.
And Wade is fouled by Heinrich. You found irony there. Huh?
Just a touch. I also noticed that Paul Pierce said Antoine will be ready. Did he mean ready to go out tonight or ready to continue? I'm not sure what he was saying there. Walker needs some rest before Game 3, Mark. He's a popular spot, South Beach.
I think you're analyzing this much too deeply. Payton with a nice pass to Goliath. A whip pass from Gary Payton. So that's 3 field goals, 8 points for Michael Doliak, and the Heat up now by 17. Look, Heinrich hit a moment ago. You've been quiet since the first quarter. Here is Nocioni. Andres Nocioni, who comes off a strong game on Saturday night, followed up with 23 points on 10 of 12 shooting.
He's become very proficient with that mid-range jumper, Marv. He'll step outside, stick to 3, and with the threat of that, he's able to drive and find open shots in the paint.
Wade with the shot clock rolling down. Payton for 3. Miami's 9th from downtown. They are 9 for 22.
And I'm sure Pat Riley would like nothing more than to leave Shaq on the bench for the rest of this game. Give him every bit of rest that he can possibly get before Game 3.
Gordon rims out, but takes it on the back tap and fires again. Rebounded by Walker. Well, games 3 and 4 will take place in Chicago at the United Center Thursday night and Sunday afternoon. So if Shaq can sit out the rest of the way. Nice turn by Payton as Miami swings it, and it opens it up for Doliak. That would be several days of rest for Shaquille O'Neal before they meet in Game 3. On the save, Heinrich is on it. Here's Dang over Doliak.
And not only rest for Shaq, but a couple more days for Alonzo Mourning to try to heal that injured calf. And he will be a factor as these playoffs go on, no doubt about that.
And Udonis Haslem will return from the 1-game suspension. Giannis throwing his mouthpiece in the direction of the official Joey Crawford the other day. Godiak on the hustle, and it's tipped home. Antoine Walker with the tip. That move by Haslam, uncharacteristic for Udonis, but you can't do that.
Very contrite with all his comments immediately after the game. You could tell that he knew he was in a strange spot, and Heinrich knocks down the three. He immediately said, I can see where Joey's come from. It was my mistake, my fault. But the league has to protect its officials, and if you do anything like that, they're going to set the precedent so that players know around the league exactly what the penalty will be.
Timeout is called by Miami with 7:40 left in the fourth. The Heat with a 15-point edge. We are back in Miami, and we present another unsponsored edition. Steve Wonders.
You didn't get the memo about the whiteout.
No,
obviously.
I did not.
Yeah, it's not a blue out. It's a
so
whiteout.
you are part of the white hot theme.
I am. Mark, we watched Cliff Robinson yesterday in New Jersey. Played in his 130th postseason game without winning a championship. I started wondering afterwards, does he have the record, or which active NBA player does have the most playoff games played without winning an NBA title? And as always, there's symmetry in our telecast, Mark. Gary Payton, temporarily anyway, setting the record for current players, 131. Robinson will tie him tomorrow night. That's a very dubious distinction, kind of like best golfer never to have won a major. Something like that.
All the guys on that graphic will just be delighted with tonight's edition of Steve Wonders. And as you know, Miami thought that they had tied him up, was deflected away, and the officials checking with each other. And last touched by the Bulls.
How is that not a foul? I mean, going full bore to the rim. Two Heat players run in his way and make contact right here. I mean, that's a foul. It's a chest bump. What are they waiting for?
The guys you mentioned, though, on tonight's Steve Wonders, Shaquille O'Neal has made his return. James Posey with the repost. And then Posey for three. Most career playoff games without a championship. As you mentioned, Gary Payton, Cliff Robinson, Dale Davis, Greg Ostertag, Howard Isley. So often, circumstances dictate in this situation.
They all came close. I mean, you look at, Peyton was in the finals with Seattle, and again with the Lakers. Robinson was with Portland. Remember the famous Michael Jordan move after he hit 6 threes, and he kind of had his palms up as if to say, what else can I do? There was Cliff Robinson in that shot. Ostertag and Isley with those Utah teams that played Chicago twice in a row, so everybody came close.
And on top of that list, Karl Malone, 193 games.
And Stockton right behind him, right?
Yes. 182, I'm told. Basket will not count. Foul before the shot attempt.
Well, it is an honor. I mean, I know we said it's a dubious one, but you think about all these guys, they're winners. They've played on far in the playoffs. Otherwise, they wouldn't have played that many postseason games.
All right, Steve, you don't have to turn it around completely. Now you're coming. It's a
angle, Marvin. We're journalists. That's what we do.
6 minutes to play in the fourth. Heinrich got bottled up. Wade with the steal. Miami back in possession.
Interesting that Pat Riley would go back to Shaq in this case. Everybody in the building feels like this game is well in hand, but the coaches are never going to take any chances. Riley saw this Bulls team battle back in game 1, and he's putting Shaq back in here.
Here's O'Neal. Rebounded by Nocioni. It's a 15-point Miami lead. They've led by as many as 20. Foul is called on Shaq. That's number 4 on O'Neal with 5:27 to play in the fourth. It's Miami 102 and Chicago 87.
The 2006 NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by the 2006 Sonata, a Hyundai like you've never seen before. By Ruby Tuesday. Try one of our 36 famous burgers, only at Ruby Tuesday. So good. By Listerine. You can handle it, germs can't. And by Sprite, reminding you to obey your thirst.
Now it's time for the Overall fantastic finish. Wade putting the move on Davis. Here is Wade. Yes! With 1.3 to go in the fourth quarter, the rookie Dwayne Wade has given Miami a 2-point lead. A flashback to the 2004 playoffs, first round of Heat and Hornets game 1. Dwayne Wade in his rookie season making an immediate impact in his first career playoff game. That game-winning jumper beat New Orleans 81-79, and Miami would eventually beat the Hornets in 7.
I think that was the first time where you really had a feeling that Wade was special. Heinrich gets the jumper to go. Remember, he was the 5th pick in the draft, and the Bulls really wanted him. They had the 7th selection that year, and they thought he would still be around, but the story goes that Pat Riley, watching his alma mater, Kentucky, in the NCAA tournament, going against Marquette, Dwayne Wade throws up a triple-double, and Riley says, I got to have that kid. He takes him at number 5, and the Bulls take Heinrich at 7.
Chicago battling its way back. It's an 11-point Miami leads 7-0 run here by the Bulls. They've trailed by as many as 20. In game 1, they were down by 12 at the half. Were able to rally, took the lead, had the lead in the fourth quarter, and then Miami was able to pull it out. Shot clock down to 5. Payton, 1 on the shot clock. And a blocking foul with just 1 second remaining on the 24.
Oh, tough break for Chicago after that brilliant defensive possession. We saw the long-armed Luol Deng coming down to help on Shaquille O'Neal. He knew he had Gary Payton, who's not as much of a three-point threat as some of the other Heat players. And 1 second on that clock. Well, that's a tough one because the way the Bulls shoot threes at the other end, you never know, Marv. They're capable of making a miracle run.
Here's Payton. Miami now leads 104-91. Strong game for the veteran Gary Payton. 9 points on 4 of 8 from the field.
Big basket there for Payton, stemming the tide a little bit.
Oh, beautiful move by Heinrich. And rejected by Wade. But a foul. Heinrich split through, and then Wade came from the blind side, but he's called for the foul.
Bulls have run this high screen and roll with Shaq's man all night. Looks like Heinrich's got a wide open look. Wade, out of nowhere, spectacular. Crowd not happy with the call.
Heinrich now 6 of 7 at the line. He's at 82% free throw shooter. Wade picks up his 3rd foul. Miami leads by 11. Just under 4 minutes to play in the 4th. Kirk Heinrich scored the last 9 points for the Bulls.
Gotta love what Chicago's doing, Marv. Just coming back, battling their entire way here. And if nothing else, see the foul there on Chandler. If nothing else, you build a little momentum for game 3. Maybe get some of your confidence back.
Now they say it's Heinrich. It's kind of a late whistle as Heinrich made contact.
Scott Skiles obviously not pleased with the call.
That's 4 on Heinrich. And Chicago with its 13th foul. Wade trying to back. Walker. 2 on the shot clock. Walker launches. Rebounded by Chandler. Here comes Heinrich. Pulls it up and scores. Miami 104. Chicago 95. Still much time left. 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Bulls bench starting to feel a little momentum swing. The crowd starting to get a little nervous. Heat go back to O'Neal.
Here's the double, and it's picked off by Duhan. Williams back. Duhan draws the foul. It counts. Jason Williams should have wrapped him up. He did not. It was a touch foul, and the Bulls get the call on the continuation.
Marv, I suppose we should not be surprised by what's happening here, given the identity of this Bulls club. Williams very easily could have been called for a clear path foul. Danny Crawford gives him the continuation. Tough call, but when you have momentum on your side, that's the kind of thing that'll go your way.
Correction, of course, that's Ben Gordon with the bucket and to the line. Ooh. A 13-2 run for Chicago. The first 11 of those 13 scored by Heinrich. So the Bulls are within 7. Wade with a beautiful pass. Antoine Walker. Now Scott Skiles calls for time. So Miami up 106-97 with just under 3 to go in this fourth quarter. But the Bulls have come back from a 20-point deficit, and they're hanging around. Back in Miami, it's time for today's closer of the game.
Well, the Bulls making a late charge here, and Miami will go to its star, Dwayne Wade, to try to finish things off here. And it's been a little bit of everything tonight for Wade. 4 steals. You see the hoop following the theft at the other end. Got 17 points, 7 assists. And in crunch time, Miami will put the ball in his hands and let him go. We just saw the beautiful feed to Antoine Walker. But in the meantime, a 9-point game. Almost 3 minutes to go. If Chicago can knock down a shot here, make a stop, they can still make things interesting.
Kirk Heinrich has led the Bulls back. He now has 25. He alone has outscored Miami in the fourth. He has 13 points. The Heat with 11. There's Heinrich. Try to hand it off. Eddie Bench felt he stepped out of bounds, and then he goes behind the back, and it carries out of bounds.
Boy, you just can't make that gamble if you're Kirk Heinrich in this situation. We saw the young Bulls team make 3 crucial turnovers in game 1 down the stretch, and that's experience and growth, and he'll improve upon that. Another problem with Tyson Chandler, he can't pop out and hit a jump shot, so there's going to be a lot more traffic in there.
Oh, Wade with a nice pass, and Walker was stripped and fouled. Dwayne Wade going behind the back as part of the setup. Foul on Nocioni. That is his 4th. So Walker to the free throw line is 1 of 2 at the line. A reminder, national coverage of the NBA playoffs will continue this week. Tomorrow on NBA TV, it's Game 2 between the Pacers and Nets starting 8 o'clock Eastern. Friday on ESPN, Game 3 of the Cavs and Wizards, followed by Game 3 of the Suns and the Lakers. Coverage starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Also on Friday on ESPN2, Game 3 of the Spurs and Kings starting at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And Sunday on ABC, the Heat of the Bulls, followed by the Suns and the Lakers. Whoa. Meanwhile, Antoine Walker missing on both free throws. So the Bulls will have it with 15 on the shot clock.
Watch Wade again come out of nowhere here and make the block on Heinrich. Beautiful defensive play, and look for Gordon coming off a double here to try to get a 3-point look.
Crowd chanting MVP for Dwayne Wade as Nocioni met by O'Neal, able to shoot over. Miami lead is down to 7. They've led by as many as 20, just under 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Heinrich digging in against Wade.
Remember, Walker and O'Neal both very poor free throw shooters.
Here's Wade. Pump fake. Heinrich did not go for it, but Wade able to stick the jump shot. He has 19 points. Heinrich finding the opening. So Miami now leads 108-101.
And if you're Chicago, maybe you send a double out there, get the ball out of Wade's hands, try to make somebody else beat you.
Next foul puts the Bulls over the limit. Wade again over Heinrich. Rebounded by Nocioni. And here comes Duhan. Looking for the quick shot. has to pull it back. Nocioni fires for three. Andres Nocioni with very little room. Antoine Walker in his face, but he's brought the Bulls within 4.
They do not quit. Marv. This team continues to fight the entire 48 minutes. Nocioni with the huge three, and the game still in doubt.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta Southwest game break. There is Sam Cassell, who coming into this series accounted for half, or exactly more than half, of all the playoff game experience from the Los Angeles Clippers. Now a bunch of them have at least a game under their belt, and they got game 2 with Denver coming up next. But this game is not over in Miami, guys. Take it away.
All right, thank you, Ernie. How about Andres Nocioni? In his second year out of Argentina, 12 of 14. He has 28 points. And that is a career high for Nocioni.
Phenomenal game from him. Heinrich has been huge here in the fourth. And Marv, if I'm the Bulls, I'm not going to let Dwayne Wade dribble the clock down and take a jump shot from the top of the circle. I'm going to run somebody at him, get the ball out of his hands, and maybe even foul Walker or O'Neal if they touch the ball, because both really struggle from the line, especially in clutch situations.
Payton will throw in. A minute 15 left in this fourth quarter. Miami up by 4. Next foul puts Chicago. And the penalty here is Wade.
He's just too good from there, Marv. You can't leave Kirk Heinrich all alone at that top of the circle. Wade is just too good. He can create space. He's got that floating jumper. And here's the move. A little help from Duhan, but not enough. Wade with the big bucket.
Down to a minute 4 remaining in this fourth quarter. Miami now leads by 6. Steve, what are you looking for from Scott Skiles?
Well, Nocioni's 12 for 14, and in game 1, Chicago went to him down the stretch. He took a questionable long-range 3, but Scott Skiles told us, look, there's a backside to that play, and it wouldn't shock me to see something run for Nocioni, where if nothing's there, you go to the back end of the play, which is maybe penetration from Nocioni, looking for Heinrich, who's made a couple of threes, Duhan, even Ben Gordon, who, despite the fact that he's 0 for 3, is used to hitting big shots. So I'm looking for something with Nocioni penetrating, trying to find the open teammate.
And you see timeouts remaining. Both the Bulls and Heat with a full and a 20. Next foul puts both teams over the limit. The closest the game has been since back in the first half when the Heat led by 3. Chicago has come back from a 20-point deficit. Just under a minute to play in the fourth. The save by Nocioni. That was not what Scott Skiles had in mind. Nocioni felt he was pushed along the baseline, and now the foul is called on Ben Gordon.
Well, Nocioni is arguing with Courtney Kirkland right now. The play was designed for him to come off of a double. It was kind of a slow developing play. But just before this, where Duhan ends up with the ball, Nocioni was really bumped off of his cut. Very easily could have been called, and that would have sent Nocioni to the line for 2. So big play. It ends up in the turnover.
Payton, a 79% free throw shooter on the line for the first time tonight. Miami now leads by 7, looking to hold on to take a 2-0 lead in this best of 7. Down to 40 seconds remaining in the fourth. Heinrich looking for the shot. Look out. Close to a foul on that three-point attempt as Duhan felt some contact, then Duhan gives the foul on Payton.
Couple of plays here late, Marv, and Chicago is right there, but they don't get the officials' call on the Nocioni play, and then on this one, looks like Duhan might get some contact from Williams, but not going to get the call very often on the follow-through when you're shooting a long-range shot. And that's pretty much it for Scott Skiles' team, but they have rebuilt some momentum here heading into Game 3, Marv. They gave this Miami team quite a scare here again.
Gary Payton now 1 of 3 at the line. Bulls now look to Game 3 at the United Center in Chicago on Thursday night. Andres Nocioni with a career-high 28 points on 12 of 14. Kirk Heinrich leading the Bulls back. 27 points for Heinrich, 15 of the 27 coming in this fourth quarter. And Miami led by Shaquille O'Neal, 22 points, 3 block shots, 7 rebounds, and Wayne Wade, 21 points, 7 assists. See the scoring rundown. Ben Gordon, a quiet night, just 5 of 15.
I think the key guy on that list is Jason Williams. 19 tonight, 17 in Game 1. The Heat always looking for that third scorer. And with Williams coming into the playoff series having sat for a couple of weeks with that tendonitis in his knee, I don't know if Pat Riley expected this much out of him, but he has played awfully well in the first 2 games of this series.
Steve, a wild first half. Chicago shot 61% from the field, and yet they were down by 11. Miami with 68 points. First half by Miami tied the most points allowed by Chicago in a half in a playoff game. The Lakers had 68 in a first half on the Bulls back in 72. The rejection by Wade as he stops Gordon, and the foul on Duhan. Jason Williams will head to the line with 24 seconds to play.
Boy, does he do everything or what? It's about the third time we've seen a wide open layup for a Bulls guard, and Wade comes out of nowhere, and you hear the crowd chanting MVP.
Jason Williams now with 20, and you see the rest of the schedule for this series. Miami will make it 2-0. Game 3 Thursday in Chicago. We'll be there right here on TNT. And then Game 4 Sunday at Chicago.
And you see all that rest that Shaq will get, Alonzo will get. I thought this was a critical game for the Bulls if they wanted to win this series. Nocioni continues to be hot. Too little, too late. 13 of 15.
Adds to a career high. He now has 30 points, 113-106, 12 seconds left. And again, the Bulls give the foul. Down to 10.6 as the Heat will head back to the line. Well, tonight's game produced by Scooter Bertino, our director, Renato Loeb, associate director, Tom Heitz, and production assistants, Daryl Bernardo and Wayne Fidelman. Statistician, Brian Taylor. Miami Heat with a 114-106 lead. And that point ties Jason Williams' career playoff high. He now has 21.
Be interesting to see how he responds. Games 3 and 4. That knee we know has bothered him quite a bit. It's going to be a long playoff run. Hopefully, if you're a Miami fan, and they need everybody healthy.
His final seconds. Here's Heinrich. A strong finish for Kirk Heinrich, but Miami holds on. And they defeat Chicago 115-108. Coming up next, following a quick break, it'll be Game 2 of our playoff doubleheaders. The Nuggets and the Clippers. For Craig Sager, Steve Kerr, and our entire crew, I'm Marv Albert saying good night from Miami. You are watching TNT, the exclusive home of the 2006 Western Conference Finals.